This podcast is brought to you in part by P&P Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at one of their 3 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Touch of Gaming podcast. Jared, stop it. Screwing me up in my intro by typing in the chat room. You're evil. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me, you heard me making fun of him or being angry or whatever that was. I'm not sure. Jared Schultz. Jared, how you doing? Oh, you're muted. That's how you're doing. Sorry. Jared, how are you doing? Are you there?
I'm here. It sounds like you sound like you're in a bottle suddenly.
Is that any better? How about now?
A little bit better.
Okay. Well, that's weird. I'm not sure what is happening there, but yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully we can get through this.
Jared, we had some issues doing the Nintendo Pulse podcast, so I wouldn't be surprised if other issues crop up. I had a major network issue last Friday, and maybe things aren't completely sorted out. We'll see how the rest of the show goes. All right, let's get into the show. Jared, how have you been? It's been a couple weeks since we last talked.
Yeah, sorry I bailed on you again last week. I'm just a bad person. That's okay. I don't think I'm going anywhere for a few weeks.
That's okay. We had Will Kelly step in from the Inside Disney Infinity podcast. He's actually in the chat room right now. I think he was scoping it out. It's like, oh, he's not there again. I'm going to jump in and save the day yet again. So we can give him
that's why he's hanging out in the line so he can.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So we can give him a Sheriff Woody badge because he likes the Disney stuff. I think that's what it is. It's part of his big master plan.
What was that? What did you just do? The DS Life bumper?
Yeah, I did. I somehow touchpadded on my touchpad, and that happened to be that thing. Oh wow, we're starting off on good. Why don't I just play other random stuff that's in my little soundboard here?
We were listening to some awesome music before. Anyway, I'm doing well. Good to hear from you, Lloyd. How are you doing?
I am doing good, and I'm not drunk. Surprisingly, with how things are falling apart here, it's just normal weird stuff happening. I don't really quite know why things are screwing up as much as they are, but that is okay. That is okay. Let's get into the show.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's jump right in. Jared, what have you been playing?
I've been playing games. There are a lot of new games going on right now. November is like the awesome month.
This was the week to end all weeks, I think.
Well, and it came on the heels of last week, and last week was
pretty
slouch.
damn good too. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was that the Pacific Skies, the Ace game that's really fun.
Yeah, there was Lego Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and Anomaly Warzone 2.
Yeah.
I mean, wow! And then this week makes last week look sad, and last week was great. So
yeah. I think
I've been playing lots of things.
Before you get into that, I think I know why that's happening, because every December, every sale on the App Store is an Electronic Arts game, because they drop every game that they've ever made to 99 cents, and I think all these developers want to beat that and actually sell some stuff for the holidays. So I think that's why they're releasing in like the first or second week in November. I think that's going to start drying up over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, well,
but
it's been great, and it just has been really great for the past couple of months. It seems like almost every week there's something that I'm really interested coming out.
Definitely.
So first of all, I have been hopelessly addicted to the same game that I reviewed last week. Freemium game that has its hooks 2 weeks ago. Holy cow, I've been playing this game for a while now. And that is Marvel Puzzle Quest. They keep having these little tournaments, and I'm not going to lie, in the tournament this week, I held the #1 spot for a few hours.
Wow. Was that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like I was #1 in the world in this game. And the reason is...
Of how many people does it say?
I don't know, a few thousand.
Wow, look at you. You're crazy.
But the reason is because they buff a character and they'll give you like one character who's super strong. And I usually, whenever they buff a character, I don't have a very strong one. But this week they buffed Thor, and I have an awesome Thor, like level 67 or something crazy like that. That I'm ashamed to admit. And
been playing the game a lot, have you?
I've been able to use my buffed Thor to just like destroy people, you know, because my guy's already strong, and then you buff him, and he's like ridiculous.
He is a god, so you'd think he would be really strong just all the time.
Yeah, whatever. They're all superheroes, so they're all strong.
That's
so
true.
Thor's just, you know, among many. So anyway, I am currently in said competition in number sixth place. So
nice.
It ends tomorrow, and hopefully I'll end in a really nice place, because the higher you end, the nicer prizes you get. So I can get a couple Loki cards, which would be great. But yeah, I still can't believe I'm still playing it. But it's kind of been my go-to quick game, and it's just been a ton of fun. I've also been playing a little game called Tiny Death Star. You're going to be reviewing it today, and we have a bit of a difference of opinion on it.
I'm actually playing it as we speak. Tappy tap tap tappity tap tap. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait to review it in about 25 minutes time, or 30 minutes, or whatever that time is. It's good. I dig it. I'm interested to hear what your opinion on it is, though.
I think games are made up of interesting decisions, and there are no decisions at all to make. Anyway, which is funny, because I actually really got into Tiny Tower.
You were the biggest Tiny Tower fan. I think
your wife was the biggest.
That's what I was going to say. The only person that beat your level of fandom was my wife, who then took it to a whole other level.
To like a disgusting level.
Well, sure. She's my wife, so I can't say that. But yeah, I'll let you say that.
Actually, you should defend her honor and like hang up on me now.
Oh, no. I mean, yes. Damn it. Don't talk about my wife that way, Jared, you evil person, you.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's moving on. You can say, though, that it's because I haven't been able to play it on my iPod Touch, and I cannot believe you. Because they made it on iPod Touch, they made it non-compatible with iPod Touch. So I have been playing it on my phone of the type that we can't discuss here.
Sure we can.
The phone that will not be named.
I don't have any sort of Android hate, so I don't know what you mean.
All right, well, yeah, my Android phone. So anyway, then I've been playing a game called Stellar Wars. Stellar Wars is the follow-up to Monster Wars and Legendary Wars by Live Games.
Nice.
So it was kind of cool because they had Legendary Wars, which means you're a bunch of good guys. You're like unicorns and elves and all that, and you were fighting these bad guys. And it was really cool because then they took the same idea and like continued the storyline in Monster Wars, which was kind of cool. And this one it's set in the same universe, but far, far in the future when, you know, it's in the stars. So you're building bots. And so first of all, Monster Wars and Legendary Wars are both free this weekend. So if you haven't heard of them, you should go pick them up for free. And then the interesting thing about Legendary Wars, it still has the same great upgrading mechanics where you have your bots and then you slowly upgrade them and then you use premium currency, but they do give you some premium currency to raise their class up. And then there's basically 3 lanes, and you build up your guys in those 3 lanes to, and then you can have them guard, or you can have them advance together, or you can have them pull back, or you can put them into formations. But basically there's these 3 lanes, and you're trying to push them and accomplish the different goals. However, in this one, there's a whole bunch of other levels, which is really awesome. So there's like, all of a sudden you'll play 2 or 3 of those levels, and then there'll be a shmup level where you're a little ship and you're having to fire against, your little laser against all the bad guys. And then it'll be okay, and then all of a sudden there'll be a level of a different sort. And it's really, really cool because they have enough of that it breaks it up, and it's just a lot of fun. Really enjoy it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you're interested, like I said, you might want to pick up the original, and then I would also pick it up or this one, I really am enjoying it. I'll probably do a better review next week, but so far it's really, really cool. Did you ever play Monster Wars or Legendary Wars?
I played Legendary Wars when it first came out.
Cool.
Yep.
Then you would enjoy this. Did you enjoy that one? Wait.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
So
wasn't my favorite game, but I did enjoy my play.
Cool. So it's more of the same, but they seem to break it up a lot more, which is kind of cool. And I would say the menus might be just slightly more confusing because they're like trying to like make you pick out your mission on a planet that the planet is a 3D object that you can like turn by, scrolling your finger across it, which isn't too annoying, but every once in a while I'd say it just is a little bit confusing. And sometimes the UI can be just a bit crowded.
Right.
But it's almost because they are trying to do so many things, but it's still really good. I've been playing more Summoner Wars, a lot more Summoner Wars. It's the game that I was talking about. It's an adaptation of a board game that you take a summoner against another summoner, and there's a grid-based board, and you're moving around different cards, and you're summoning them and fight against other people. It's been really, really good, and I've been playing against a couple of listeners to the show and then some other random people, and it's just been really good. I really enjoy the game. There's a lot of variety. It's amazing how much variety there is when there's only a couple of, there's not really that many units.
Sure.
But each army really does feel different because there's like a bunch of different armies. I think I have 6 of them, and I think there's like a total of 8. And every single one like has a distinctly different feel to it. And I think that that's a really cool thing that they were able to do. Yeah, that's Summoner Wars. And then last of all to talk about in what I've been playing section is a game called Football Heroes. So I think this game was called NFL Blitz. Do you remember NFL Blitz?
Yep.
Long ago.
Yep.
So this is like NFL Blitz for iOS.
I really loved playing NFL Blitz.
I know.
Is it really like NFL Blitz?
Yes.
Or is it?
You need to go look at this.
I will right away because I really like Blitz. I love those arcade sports games. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it's the first game I've, because it seems like football games, they get all like Madden and all that type of thing. This one seriously feels like NFL Blitz. You go and you pick a play, and then your guys will go run that play. And while they're running that play, you can control the quarterback, and then you touch the guy you pass it to. And if that guy is open, he'll catch it, and then you can keep running with him and control it. But it's really, really good. I'm surprised. And I think that you should check it out if you liked NFL Blitz, because it's just one that you probably... I feel like it didn't get a lot of attention, and I understand that. And I think it's free, if I remember right.
It is free.
But there's a coin doubler in it, which we love our coin doublers, because I feel like it's like one of the best in-app purchases. So I think it's like $3 for a coin doubler. And then you get to build your team over time. You get to spend your coins to purchase better guys and then build your team, your offense and your defense and stuff. Really, really interesting game.
Downloading it as we speak. I'll play it.
Going to play it some more. But I think that if you liked NFL Blitz, and it's one that it's one that, for me, I haven't found a game that really gave me the feeling of NFL Blitz in a long time.
Sure.
And I remember playing a ton of it when I was like in elementary school. So.
Oh, that makes you feel old.
Yeah, well, I may have been junior high, and I'm just misremembering. But still, I was pretty young, and I played a ton of it, and this game gave me that feeling. So give it a try, Lloyd, and maybe we can talk about it some more.
Sure, yeah. I'll download it and play it for next week. So
cool.
We can talk about
what have you been playing, Lloyd?
Well, I'm playing something right now, actually, because I wanted to talk about it. And this is the sequel to a game that I really loved, I guess about a year ago. It was the Rayman Jungle Run game that came out. This one is the sequel. It's called Rayman Fiesta Run. And it is really good. It's like $3. It's an auto runner where you play as Rayman or Rayman. I like to call him Rayman or ramen, but his name's Rayman. And you basically are running through levels and jumping and collecting your lums, which is the little flying bright glowy things, and avoiding all sorts of hazards. There's unlockable characters, which you can unlock, obviously, since they're unlockable. And then there's other things that you can unlock, like art and stuff like that. This is different than the first one, where the first one you'd basically have themed levels based on the new move that they would teach you. This one really doesn't have that. It's just one big long world, and the more lums that you collect, the more of the little firefly sun things, whatever they are, the more things get unlocked. And then eventually you'll get to other levels that unlock, like you learn how to punch, and that just gets unlocked, and then you can use it in pretty much every level. In each of the levels, there's 100 of the little guys to collect, and you have to do it by pretty much jumping exact. You can't really make any mistakes if you want to get it. Get 100%. If you get 100%, then you unlock a more difficult version of that level that has like various things that will kill you. I'm actually playing the harder level of the first level right now, and there's flamethrowers and spike guys and just stuff that I had never seen before until playing the hard parts of the level, which is really a lot of fun. There's a bunch of unlockable power-ups as well. One of the power-ups looks like a pair of sneakers or whatever. If you select it, it costs lums to use, but what it does is it draws kind of the optimum path through the level. So if you don't know the optimal way to get all of the things in the level, you can buy an item which will then give you basically a guide to run on, which is really kind of neat. And that's it. It's Rayman. It's charming as heck. And it just looks, sounds, and plays unbelievably well. So if you're into auto runners, or if you like the Rayman series on any of the consoles, especially the newer ones, this one is definitely worth picking up. There are, I believe, 36 levels, and each level you can get a gold star on. Or sorry, a golden crown. And then if you get a golden crown on a level, it unlocks the hard level, and then there's another golden crown. So there's 72 golden crowns in total to unlock across the game. If this is at all like the other one, there'll be other levels and stuff added as you go on. But I'm really enjoying it right now. Only been playing it today, but I'm really, really digging it. Besides that, I picked up, I'm playing, obviously, Tiny Death Star, which I'll be reviewing in this episode as well. I am playing Skylanders Lost Islands. I'm playing Simpsons Tapped Out still. Same old. But I did manage to pick up a new game called Oceanhorn, which finally launched today, or this week. So essentially take Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and squeeze it down into an iPad app. And it is that. The music is written by Nobuo Uematsu, who did the soundtrack for Final Fantasy. So it's not like just some guy in his basement made this as a ripoff. It is a well thought out, well made, and super, super polished game. I'm really, really loving it. I'm about an hour's into it. It seems like it's going to be, from what I understand, about an 8-hour game. So I still got a lot of time to put into it. And it's $8, and it's worth every penny so far. So if you're looking for an RPG, definitely take a look at this one. At least look at some of the Let's Plays, or look at the screenshots. If you guys want, let me know, and I can even do a Let's Play from the start of the game, and kind of give you guys my overview of this, and do some streaming of this game. It is really worthy of people's attention. I hope that this is just the start of a lot more games coming out that are this polished. Like, this feels like something that I would have bought on a console like 5 years ago. As far as like the size, graphically, it looks like something that I would get on a system nowadays. It's really, really well done. So definitely check it out. Oceanhorn. All right, man. I think that's about do it. Let's get into the rest of the show. You ready, Jared?
Yep.
I know you have your nose in a game right now, so I wanted to be sure that you were still there.
I usually do.
Okay. So let's start off with notable releases. So this was a really big release week. First up, Oceanhorn, as I already said. It is awesome. It is $8. It is worth more than that if people are scoffing at the price. They just need to give it a try and see. But it is really good. We also got a release of Tilt to Live 2.
Yeah, so Oceanhorn, it was in development for like 3 years, right?
It was in development for a super long time. It was announced over a year ago.
Oh, wow. And it was by FDG or something like that?
Well, let me bring it up real quick. I can't remember the name of the company that does it. It is by ComFox and Bros Limited and FDG Entertainment.
Oh, okay.
But the fact that it has like Uematsu doing the soundtrack for the game is just like, what? That is a crazy well-known composer releasing a soundtrack for an iOS title, which is pretty damn cool. They say that it's a 10 hour plus of story. So
it's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Tilt to Live, that was one of your favorites, right? Back in the day.
Tilt to Live was really good. This one is Tilt to Live 2, Redonkulous, which I like. And yeah, it just seems to be more of the same. I haven't bought this one yet. I'm gonna have to do that soon. But yeah, you're basically a little ship and you tilt and you avoid all the bullets and you go as far as you can, get a high score, and then start over again. It's one of those kind of high scorey kind of games, but definitely worth picking up from what I understand. I haven't played it yet though. I will be playing it soon. Also out this week was Stealth Inc. For $4.99. Stealth Inc. was a game that launched on PlayStation 3, I want to say about 2 months ago or 3 months ago. So it's a fairly new title that came out on PSN. It's now on the iOS platform for $4.99, which is a pretty darn good deal, and definitely worth checking out. It's kind of a puzzler kind of game where you play a spy and you have to kind of make it through the world without getting seen, and obviously gets harder as you move along, but it looks really good. This is one that I've always wanted to get on my PlayStation 3. I just never bought it because there's always something newer out. But I'm definitely looking forward to picking this one up and playing it on my iPad. Epoch 2 came out for $5.99. Epoch was a really well done. It was, I guess, a third person shooter kind of thing where you're a robot. And you fight other robots. I'm describing this right, Jared, aren't I?
Yeah, it's wasn't it like a cover shooter or something like that?
Yeah, it was like a third-person cover-based shooter. So the second one came out. It's $5.99. It looks even better graphically than the first one did, and yeah, it's there. So if you're into cover-based shooters, like a Gears of War type thing, but this is like third person kind of jumping forward into the level. You might want to look into that one. It's being reviewed really well. I played the first one. I think that's good enough for now, but I know a lot of people are super excited about that game. Also out this week is Neon Shadow by Crescent Moon Games. This is a neon first-person shooter. It's kind of like an homage to classic first-person shooters like Doom and Quake and Wolfenstein. It is really well done. The controls are spot on. It's about, I think it's $2. I already own it, so I can't see the price on the App Store right now, but I believe it is $2. It is a heck of a lot of fun. It has multiplayer deathmatch. It has level-based game with a story. It is it is really well done. So do check that one out. It's kind of a different sort of game from Crescent Moon. Normally their games are not so first-person shootery, but I was really glad to see them release one of these. this week, so check that one out. And last but not least is a game called Super Lemonade Factory 2. I love the first one. It was like kind of a quirky little Mario-esque platformer. This one is on the App Store right now for free, so you can basically Part 2, Super Lemonade Factory Part 2 is now free for a few days, and then it will not be free. So if you want to own it, you should get it now. I believe it's only free for the first week that it's on the App Store. It's kind of a thank you to people that bought the first one, and then it's going to pop up to 99 cents or $2 or whatever the price is going to be. But yeah, it's a Mario-esque platformer where you have some characters. You have to get them to the end of the level, and you have to avoid a bunch of people while you do it, and enemies and things like that. So I really enjoyed the first one, as quirky as it was, and I haven't played the second one yet, but I have downloaded it, so I'll get into that when I have some time between things like Rayman and Oceanhorn and Tilt to Live and other stuff.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it a lot. Maybe I'll have to go pick it up while it's free and see.
Yeah,
give it a run.
It's fun. It's quirky. It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
All right, cool. Let's get into news. There's next to nothing in news other than the Retina iPad Mini is actually available for pickup now. If you are waiting on one of those, you can maybe get it at your Apple Store, but maybe not. They're in great demand, so your mileage may vary. The other news item is that Sony released their PlayStation Store, or I guess they're calling it the PlayStation Companion app finally. You can download this now. It's meant for the PlayStation 4, but any PlayStation Network app account will work with it. So you basically log into your PlayStation Network account with this app. You can buy stuff, have your system automatically download it, which is nice. You can see all your friends that are online. You can send messages. You can pretty much do anything that you could do on your Sony console or your Vita, but you're doing it right on an app on your iPhone, which is really kind of cool. I'm looking forward to the PS4 coming out in 1 hour and 10 minutes locally. I won't be picking one up on the launch week, but I know a lot of people will. So if they're on my friends list, actually I'll pop it open right now because I probably have some people on my friends list that already have a PS4 because they're in different parts of the world, or not. None of my friends right now are playing on their PlayStation 4. That's interesting. But if they were streaming a game, I could click the button and go right to their stream. I could see what they're doing. I could see their achievements unlock, and it just shows up right on this little phone app, which is really kind of cool to see Sony do something like this. They don't have a iPad app out yet. They just have the iPhone version, which is I found kind of odd. But maybe the iPad version will be coming later, which will offer some second screen features and things like that as well. So yeah, that's about it for news, man. Kind of a slow week. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'd rather have a lot of great releases and a slow news week, so I'm fine with it.
I agree. I think we made out like bandits this week, personally.
Yeah, I'd rather have slow news and lots of games. So for me, I got my wish.
Cool. Awesome. Well, let's get into the reviews then. Jared, you have a couple reviews for us this week, so why don't you start it off?
I do. I have 2 reviews this week. So the first game that I am going to review today is a game called A Story of a Band. And this game, it kind of, when you first look at it, it's maybe not the prettiest. And basically the idea is that you go and you are recruiting members for your band, and you want to find people that do all the different parts. So, you'll have a vocalist, and then you'll have your rhythm guitar and your lead guitar and your bass and your drums. So you have your 5 different spots that you have to fill. And then they will have a whole bunch of stats. And the types of stats that they have is like charisma and creativity, songwriting, live performance, stamina, and singing. And the basic idea is that you have this little band that you are trying to take to greatness. You are, at first, you're a very weak, not very popular band, and slowly you develop your skills, and you release albums, and your albums get progressively better. And when you release albums, it kind of reminds me of in-game dev story when you make a game, because you'll see like the little guy will work on it and get like, you know, inspiration for it, and then the song, and then they'll get a bunch of points on that particular area. And when you make an album, it's kind of entertaining because you'll be able to like you get to first of all make like what type of album you do, and then you get to select what type of music and what type of direction do you want it to be, a difficult album or a fast album, and you get to select the themes, and you're looking for themes that go together, which also kind of reminds me a little of game dev story. And so maybe you'll want to put together, let's see, here's some examples. You'll want to put together Poison and how about Hatred, you know, like, or if you're in a good mood, you can do Peace and Baby. I don't know. Just trying to figure out some different mixes. And you go and you put those together, and then you go ahead and
can you do Hatred and Baby?
Yes, you can.
Wow, interesting.
But you can sometimes you'll get negative points for things that don't match well together, and I would
hope so.
Kind of hope that, or like Poison Baby, I would hope that would get like a bad, you know, review, like just because, you know, we don't. Here on the Touch of Gaming podcast, we are against poisoning babies.
We do not condone the hating of baby or poisoning of baby. Yeah.
So anyway, and then you can like invest in their skills. You can spend money to do all sorts of different things that'll, you know, you can go to a style consultant or send them to drama school. And then once you release your albums, they'll sell, and they'll continue to sell, and hopefully they'll sell well, but eventually they'll start to taper off. But that's not how you actually get the big amount of money. You get the big amount of money by going on tour, and you go on tour and you know, try to sell out to crowds, and you know, then if they ask for encores, you get bonus points, and that's how you gain more fans and a following, and then, you know, it just kind of becomes hopefully a virtuous cycle, and you do better and better. And then occasionally you'll do battle, and you go and do like a battle of the bands, and all of them are completely making fun of other bands. You know, they're spin-offs kind of in that same quirky humor. Looking right here, there's Nuns and Noses, Ironic Maiden, Judo Priest, and those are some of the ones that I'm supposed to go fight. Deep Burble. Anyway, so, and you go, and when you fight them, you like do like a wall of music as your attack, and you get like little extra skills that your guys can do. And the main thing is that you have to knock them out before they can get you knocked out. So all in all, it kind of feels a little bit like a Kairosoft game, a little bit like that simulation. The couple of things that are different about it, I would say, is that it has a bit of a crowded interface. You know, sometimes I get annoyed with how buried Kairosoft stuff is. You know, sometimes you won't find certain things in theirs until, you know, way far into the game because you don't look far enough into the menu. And that doesn't happen with this one as much because everything is there, which makes the menus kind of crowded. So it's kind of a bad thing. And I can kind of see why Kairosoft does it the way they do it, so it's a bit more clean. But besides that, I would say that it's an interesting little game. It's $1.99 on the App Store. If you kind of like simulation games and it sounds fun to try and take a band and make them a good band, and, you know, go and play through all these different places and earn money, and just, I don't know, it's a fun little game. I enjoy it. It's not quite what I expected, but basically for me, it's what would happen if Kairosoft decided to make a game about making a band, and the graphics are kind of, that blocky style, and my bass guitarist looks kind of creepy. But it's okay because he's in a rock band and sometimes that happens. So that game is A Story of a Band. It's $1.99 on the App Store. And I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It's a pretty fun little game, and I really enjoy it. Currently, I'm in, you play through several years, and so, there'll be music awards and all that type of thing. So, yeah, that's a game. A Story of a Band, and 4 out of 5 for me.
Well, it did sound like a game when you were describing it, so I hope it actually is a game.
Yeah. It is.
All right, cool. All right, well,
sorry, kind of a bad segue there. I wasn't quite sure how to end that.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm the king of bad segues, so it's okay. All right, moving on. Let's get into my review. I'm going to be reviewing a game called Tiny Death Star, and I'm going to try to review it while having it open. I'm having a problem with my iPhone where it will randomly just it'll die when my battery's at 18% or 13%. It just doesn't die when my battery is at 0%, like most things should do. So I got to bring it for service or whatever. So if it dies, some of my descriptions might be a little less description-y, because that's a word. All right, so Tiny Death Star, it is basically Tiny Tower. So they made this great game called Tiny Tower, and they basically did so well with it that they created a whole bunch of other games based in the Tiny universe. And by they, I mean Nimblebit. I didn't say their name, but I assume that everybody knows who made it. So they did so well with Tiny Tower. They did Tiny Planes and Tiny Trains and Tiny Automobiles. Or maybe that one's still coming. I'm not sure. But Tiny Star Wars Tiny Death Star is essentially the same game, but it's been released and published by Disney, by actually Lucasfilm International. So this is the first Star Wars game that has been made since Disney took over and bought Lucas Arts and everything to do with Star Wars. So that's kind of a neat little trivia piece, and it must feel pretty cool for Nimblebit to have their game be the first Star Wars game that Disney has published. Anyway, if you're not familiar with Tiny Tower, I find that kind of hard to believe because Tiny Tower was such a huge hit for so long. But essentially what you're doing is you're building floors of a tower, and you can build either a floor that will make you money or a floor that will house people. So there's residential floors, and then there's retail, commercial, food, and service, I think, are the other types. When you build a floor, you have to basically staff it with people. You get those people by building residential areas. Each residential area can hold up to 5 individuals. Each of those individuals has different stats in each of the different services, food, commercial, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to basically put people that have the highest rating into the proper floor so that they will make the most money. Everybody also has a dream job. So if you put someone in their dream job, you gain a premium currency every time you do that. So that's a good thing because you can use premium currency to buy faster elevators to shuttle people between floors or to buy money and things like that. So that's Tiny Tower. Tiny Death Star is pretty much the exact same, but they've added a bunch of other features to make it Star Wars-y. They've added the ability to create Imperial floors now. So when you create an Imperial floor, it goes into the basement, and there are things like the interrogation room or what's, I'll go to mine, I'm scrolling down, blast doors, map room. There's a bunch of other ones as well. And what these do is they basically allow you to create items that you can then use to make money. So you get you basically have a quest to make the level 3 item, which needs 4 interrogation pieces of equipment, 3 blast door pieces of equipment, and 2 map room pieces of equipment. And if you succeed with that, you get X number of coins. Right now, I need to build a tractor beam level so that I can finish my next thing. I need a bunch of those for my next quest and stuff like that. I found these really weird because they don't really do anything. They don't make money. So if you're not building a level that is creating money, they're not actually helping you at all. I could see myself doing that near the end of the game because there's unlockable videos that you can happen into in the game. So if you're playing the game, you might not know how to do one of them. So I'll spoil it here. It's not really much of a spoiler, but some people might get upset. They're called scenes, and basically, to get a scene, you have to put a certain character in a certain floor. So the first one that I did is I put Jar Jar Binks at Watto's Wares, which was one of the first places that I unlocked, and the scene from Star Wars Episode 1, I believe, where he eats one of those like frog things and ends up knocking stuff over and people get mad at him. Well, this plays out similar, except it's pixelated Jar Jar and stuff falls through the ceiling and he basically gets eaten by Jabba the Hutt. Or wait, no, that's not on Watto's Wares. That's in a different one. That's in
you're mixing two different scenes up.
Yeah, the Mos Espa Cafe one where he eats the frog.
Yeah, that's the one that. So that's the one that everyone gets.
Yeah, they because the first thing that you get is Mos Espa Cafe, and then Jabba falls on his head. The one that I unlocked today by just fluke was the one with Watto's Wares, where he basically gets in the fight with one of those little tiny droid things. And there's also one that is a hidden one where some like in Tiny Tower, where you'd sometimes get quests like go find this person. You'd have to scroll through your tower looking for this person. They have now quests like that where there's a rebel and you have to find this specific rebel. And then sometimes that rebel is an actual rebel from the movie. So it might be like Princess Leia or Lando Calrissian or Chewbacca. So I eventually unlocked Leia. I think that was part of the tutorial. So I think everybody does. And what you do is when you get Leia just showing up in your tower for no reason, wanting to go to, say, floor 12, instead of taking her to floor 12, you take her down into the basement into your interrogation room. And the little movie plays out where she's getting interrogated, just like in Star Wars Episode 4. So there's going to be a whole bunch of those things to figure out and unlock. Some of them will just be fluky, where you just happen to get a random NPC that looks kind of like a character in a movie, and you take them to a floor that kind of makes sense and it will play out a movie, and it's like, oh, that's kind of neat. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people posting all the different combinations online and you could just figure it out yourself. But that was kind of a neat little kind of add-on to this game to kind of make it more Star Wars-y, make it a lot more fun to play. And I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I've been playing it for the better part of a week. I'm at floor 28, so I'm going up pretty well, doing a lot of building. I'm just about to add another floor. In fact, I'm about 1,000 gold away from another floor and an achievement as well. You get an achievement if you get to 100,000 coins, and I'm just about 1,000 coins shy of that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really digging it. It's not anything new if you've already played Tiny Tower. It is essentially the same game, but if you like Star Wars like I do, I'm not a huge Star Wars nerd, but I enjoy the movies, the original trilogy mainly because that's what I grew up with, but I enjoy watching the new movies with my kids as well. So there's just a lot of little great little things to pick up on. And I mean, there's like, I'll see if I can turn the volume up if it'll work.
The music is one of the best parts of this game, in my opinion.
Music's the best. You can get like basically the Star Wars theme played as like Muzak, like chiptuning Muzak, but that's not going to work here for whatever reason, so I'll just turn the music off. But yeah, I don't know. Tiny Death Star, I really dig it. It's free. It's available for download right now, and I urge you guys to check it out if you like the original and or if you like Star Wars. And if both, then you're really, really going to like this game. So yeah, gets a 5 out of 5 from me.
So can I just have a short rebuttal?
Sure.
Just a minute or two. So here's my issue. I feel like that you don't really have a lot of choice in this game. I feel like it just becomes so much of a treadmill. And I know I played a whole lot of the Tiny Tower. I think I got up to like 40 floors on Tiny Tower. And it's okay, but for me, it gets a little bit grating. And then, like you're talking about with the Imperial levels, for me, the Imperial levels are a complete waste because, I mean, yeah, they're cool to have, and you can use your supply officers to get a little bit of money, but they raise the cost just like every other level.
Yeah.
So if I go and build it, then basically each level you costs about 10% more than the previous level. And so obviously that goes up in a increasing function. And for me, that just gets a little annoying long term.
No, I agree with you there, and I built 3 Imperial levels and thought that there would really be more behind them, but there isn't. So I'm not going to build any new ones until I run out of all the other floors. I build 10 of each of the other 4, and then whatever it is, 28 of the residentials. Then I'll start building the Imperial floors just to unlock some of the movies and other things like that. But yeah, they're kind of a neat little thing. They bring you back to the movie, and they kind of make this feel more like a Death Star, because why would the Death Star have a workout center and a livestock exchange and an aquarium and a HoloNet Cineplex and all these other things that the Death Star is like murder, death, kill, not like super happy fun day. So anyway,
yeah, I just got I mean, and that sometimes they are funny, right? I got lightsaber craft,
nice,
which was pretty funny because, well, one, it has a ton of stuff in it. Like when you reload, it's like 900 for the second level or something like that. It's something crazy. But anyway, so that is kind of fun, and I love the music on it.
Yeah, the music.
It gets a little. Really, I feel like there's only like 4 songs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's okay. But I guess I'm tiny towered out a little. I was hoping for a little bit different.
Sure. Another thing with this game is premium currency was like really hard to get when it first came out. Like the first elevator upgrade is 25, and then it goes to 75, and it took me forever to get to 25, and you start with 20. I used a couple to move some people in, and it just wasn't happening. They put out a patch a couple days ago, and since that patch, I was able to basically raise the 75 that I needed for the third elevator or the second elevator or whatever number it is. And I did that without too many problems. So I think they are patching it, and they're doing a really good job.
Oh, really? I wonder if there's been a patch for the Android version.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
Because I have not seen said patch, and it's still very hard to get premium currency.
Cool. All right, okay. Well, moving on, you have another review this week.
Oh, yeah, I do. Hey, check that out. So the other review I have this week is a game called Dead Man's Draw. So Dead Man's Draw is by Stardock, who on the PC is probably my favorite game developer. Mainly because I really like strategy games, and they seem to always be very customer oriented. And they announced that they were going to have a mobile studio, and this mobile studio, their first game was Dead Man's Draw. So Dead Man's Draw starts with a very, very simple premise, and that is that in Dead Man's Draw you are there's a deck of cards. There's 70 cards in the deck. No, I don't trust that number. I think that there's six cards of 10, so there's 60 cards in the deck, if I remember right. And they are 6 cards of 10 different suits. Yeah, I think that's right. So those 10 different suits, they range anywhere from the value of 2 up to 7. And the way that it works is very simple. You draw a card, and you have the choice to continue drawing cards as long as you want. However, as soon as you get a double, you bust. And as soon as you bust, you're done. You don't get to take any of those cards. Then they start adding in some powers. So at first, you take a hit of one card. Well, of course, you're going to take the second one because you still have a 90% chance of getting a card from the suits that you don't have. But that chance goes down. And so there's kind of this push your luck element that you get to say 3 or 4 or 5, and you're like, I don't really want to risk all these good cards I have. Or maybe because what it does is the way that it scores the game is the highest number that you have from every suit combined. And so maybe even though you have 5 out, you only have, say, 1 point better. So only one of the 5 cards is better than the one that you already have in your hand. Well, in that case, you might be willing to risk it a bit more because you're not scoring very many points. Well, then they start adding in a whole bunch of cool powers, and each of the suits has a special power. For example, there's a cannon suit, and the cannon lets you discard a card out of your opponent's hand. Or there's one that it's a map suit, and you get to go through the discard pile. So whenever people bust, you can go through that pile to pick one out and play it for yourself. Or maybe there's one that's a chest and one that's a key, and if you get both the chest and the key in any hand draw, you get to double your cards that you pulled. So it's kind of an interesting little system that works there. And it's simple, but it's fun. You're working through all of these different ones. And what's really cool about it is they have these tournaments, and every single tournament they change the rules just slightly for. So, for example, there's a tournament that all of a sudden, instead of only the high card from each one counting, maybe every card will count. Or maybe instead of when you bust the cards going into the discard pile, maybe when you bust they'll go into your opponent's hand, which is obviously really bad and makes you even more concerned about pushing your luck too far. So it has this really fun push your luck element that I really enjoy. And you're able to play these different traits that allow you to superpower. You know how, like I was telling you, the cannon allows you to discard one card. Well, if you have the superpower cannon trait, you can discard their entire pile of cards. So not all of their cards, but one suit, all the different ones they have of the same suit. So it's really, really cool. It's simple, but it's a fun little like push your strategy luck game, and I really love it because if you look the tournaments, there's a crazy number of tournaments in here. They don't number them, so I can't really count how many there are, but I would say there's probably 50 tournaments, and each tournament has 2 or 3 or 4 matches depending on what's going on. There's also single pass and play multiplayer. So if I'm playing and want to play in the car or something, obviously not while I'm driving, but I can play and pass it, and it's just great. It's a simple little game that is easy to learn. But there is definitely some strategy there, and there's nothing worse than when you're like, oh, I'm going to push just a little farther, and then you lose it all. And it's a fun little game. So it's going to get a 4 out of 5 from me, probably just because at times it's a little too simplistic, but it's $1.99, and I really think that people should check this game out. It's called Dead Man's Draw. It's by Stardock Entertainment, and it's $1.99 in the App Store. So, yeah, that's my other review.
Awesome. It sounds interesting. You're into those types of games, though. They're your space traders or your driving game. I'm trying to think of the other stereotypical games.
No, I don't think I usually play like card games like this.
Well, I guess you like kind of the boardy kind of games, and it sounds very like not board game where you play on a board, but the new kind of board games which have a lot more card elements and things like that.
Actually, they just came out with a Kickstarter for a physical version of the game.
Nice. You're going to Kickstarter it?
Probably not, because I've kind of sworn off Kickstarters for now.
And I just said Kickstarter it instead of just Kickstart it. So, yeah, that's about par for the course today. Yeah. My tongue not be working very well for speaking.
Oh, it looks like the Kickstarter ended 3 days ago, and it was $3,000 short of its goal.
Oh, that's too bad. That sucks.
It's probably all because I didn't support it.
It's
or
all
I didn't
on you.
Earlier.
I know your average donation to Kickstarter is $3,500, so you would have pushed them over the top.
Easily, yeah.
Cool. All right, well, that's going to about do it for this episode, unless you have anything else to add, Jared.
No, I got nothing.
Awesome. Well, neither do I. All right, guys, we love to hear from you. Let us know what you think of the show. Head on over to vgpodcast.com. Click contact us at the top of the page and let us know what you think. Email us directly at vgpodcasts@gmail.com, or you can call our voicemail line, which is area code 505-VG-Podcasts. And that's going to about do it for this episode, guys. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want us to cover in the future. And let us know if you want us to do more kind of play along, let's play kind of stuff. I got the equipment now, so we can start doing let's plays of iOS games if we really want. But is that something you guys really want us to do? Let us know, and we'll go from there. Anyway, take it easy, and we'll talk to you in about a week's time, everybody. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye.